Hello everybody, I'm Hacklebeast and welcome to week 15 of Gambit Cup, IWL versus DM. This will be the one match for the day. And for the first matchup we have IWL Finito. Ooh, we capitalized the I. Busting out of the mold with that one. IWL Finito versus DM Wraith. One of these days, I'm actually going to go and look up what everybody's clan names mean. Because recently I learned that DM is Disturbed Mind. And LRM is something in Spanish. So, it's just Spanish stuff. I want to say IWL is something like International Winners League? But that might be wrong. Anyway. I'm assuming pain is just pain. TVZ on Ground Zero. Excuse me. Ooh. Oh, Wraith is gonna answer. Very nice. Oh, that's why he's gonna answer. Because he's doing weird proxy barracks stuff. And Finito's doing a 12... excuse me, he's doing a 12 hatch. Is this drone actually going to scout it? It might be just a little bit too low for the drone to see. Oh. He's moving back? Okay, he's coming back. He saw it. Oh man, if Wraith had built it just a little bit farther down. I don't know how far down the buildable terrain goes, but it was so close to working. Anyway, Wraith has found out where his opponent is. Forgot to change the colors originally. Brown and orange. There we go. And the bunker is completely constructed. The hatchery probably isn't going to be canceled, but it's going to be pretty hard to defend. Spawning pool still has a little bit of time left to go. Even a second bunker being constructed. And that's going to make it really hard, especially just given that position. Finito going to move out with the drones to try to... excuse me, to try to pick off Marines as they come in. Almost get one of them down, but now with a buddy, it's going to become a lot harder. He's going to have to lose a lot of drones, not to mention the mining time of just bringing him out this far. Oh, there we go. Gets that one down, and even going to get the second one. And even the third one? And even the third one. Wraith is slipping a little bit with his micro. He has two bunkers here, but only one Marine to put them in so far. And... is he not going to start bringing in more guys? Apparently, he's content with just, with just the one Marine in the bunker. Good use of Zerglings by Finito to target off the SCVs, prevent them from repairing. This bunker is going to be completely useless if it's taken out without a single Marine being able to get into it. So Finito holding off this bunker rush very well. Another bunker being constructed at the front. Trying to, it's going to be the defense against a lot of Lings, but it's just going to finish in time. At the same time, it's still very easy for Zerglings to do a run-by if they want to, and here come the first Zerglings. In fact, I'd be very surprised if he didn't just do a run-by. Wraith is pretty weak at this point, and even if they didn't do a run-by, they might be able to just target down the bunker outright. It's only one. It only has 3 Marines in it. Wraith has finished his wall now, so it's pretty well blocked off, but there's still holes. I really don't think that is tight. Apparently that is tight, but the SCVs at the top or the bottom were not enough to block the pass, and now there are lots of Lings in the base. They're going to come instantly back to try to snipe the Marines, forcing them to retreat once again. Still have not managed to take any of the Zerglings out, and yet another Marine goes down. And the SCVs are just going to fall so quickly to these Zerglings. The Marines, too, need the support of the bunker, and Wraith is trying to micro the Zerglings slowly back towards the bunker so that he can have a shot to kill them. And it works for the most part, but he lost a lot of SCVs to begin with, and Wraith already had thrown down 3 bunkers this game, so a lot of money being put into that. Wraith's economy is looking pretty poor at this stage. Meanwhile, Finito did lose a lot of drones of his own. So, Wraith isn't completely out of it, but once the 3-hatch Muta comes in, I'm doubting that he's going to be able to stop it. But we'll see, he has time. Excuse me. So, Lair's been starting. This hatchery's about halfway done. So it will finish before the Spire's able to complete. Finish and get its 3 larvae, which is most important. Finito probably won't even have to throw down sunken colonies. I'd be really surprised if Wraith gets aggressive again. Which is just going to help him get out his Mutalisks even faster. Meanwhile, it looks like Wraith's going to transition into pretty standard 2-Rax Academy stuff. He's throwing down the second barracks now. The gas is almost done. Judging by how late his gas is, I'm actually wondering whether he's going to be able to get both stim and range before the Mutalisks come out. And only 1 guy on gas, yeah. Okay, there's 2 more. I'm really doubting it. The SCV is going to see the Spire, so he knows Mutalisks are on the way, but I think he's going to have a lot of trouble holding them off. He certainly has time for the eBay and throwing down the turrets, but turrets are only going to be able to do so much. So, here comes the speedling run by from Finito. With proper micro, this probably won't work out. Wraith already has the bunker down, and he has a large pack of Marines to really prevent the Lings from being able to get up the ramp. I think Finito's better off just saving the Lings for whenever Wraith does move out next. But no, he's going to go in for it. Let's see what he can do. They're going to target down the bunker first, and that's going to go down very quickly. Killing the Marines inside. Some SCVs being pulled to chase the Lings away, and the Lings are just going to back off after taking out the bunker, able to snipe an SCV. So I guess that is going to work out for him. He didn't really commit that much to the run-by. Just wanted to pick off the bunker, pick off some Marines, and then back out. Taking out the bunker is going to make it better for his Mutalisks. So I kind of like that play, especially considering that now Wraith is pulling off 8 SCVs, it looks like. A large number of SCVs. Medics are out now. They're certainly going to help defend against Lings. But here come the Mutalisks. And, oh, he hasn't even started. He hasn't started either of his upgrades. Oh no, range just started. This is not going to be good. He hasn't built any of his turrets. His Marines are unupgraded. No +1, no range, no stim. And he doesn't exactly have a large number of them to begin with. With proper Mutalisk micro, Finito should be able to end the game with these 9 Mutalisks. Don't do that. Targeting on the medics, very nice. Medics are really annoying to take out because once the Marines do have stim, which they don't, they're getting range first. But when they do get stim, the medics. Oh, they did get stim. All right. If you keep taking out the medics like that, you're really preventing the Marines from being able to stim because it's just going to constantly wear down on their health. All the SCVs have been taken out. The Mutalisks are going to focus on the command center, and it looks like he's not going to be able to save it. He stopped microing, so his Mutalisks are drifting a little bit close to the turret, but it's not going to do much damage. And it looks like the command center is going to go down. It is now burning. Wraith stimmed and is now moving across the map, but there are enough defenses that such a small attack force really just isn't going to cut it. And the Mutalisks can still attack the main pretty well. There are 3 turrets down there, but not exactly covering the back. I think that Finito has this game wrapped up. Continuing to snipe the medics. And that's another benefit. That's the benefit of when you're taking out the medics. The Marines overstim, and then your splash damage can kill off multiple Marines. Instead of just killing one with every shot, you're killing many. Normally you need a full pack of Mutalisks to be able to kill multiple Marines with one shot. Alright. Lurkers are done for Finito. And Wraith, I bet he doesn't even have a factory yet. No, he does not have a factory. He's throwing down his 3rd barracks. He does have turrets for detection and an academy, so he has a chance versus the Lurkers, but he really has no chance versus the Lurkers. Let's be honest here. And here comes the break. Lots of Lurkers, good amount of Mutalisks, some Zerglings backing it up. The bunker is going to fall very quickly, and he's leapfrogging the Lurkers in now to constantly get them farther up. They're doing a lot of damage to the few Marines that are left. The first Lurker goes down, but there are still 6 more behind that. Everything in the natural is going to go down, and GG from Wraith. Finito takes game 1 for Team IWL. Alright. Game number 2. So, this is Winners League format, so Finito will continue on. Let's see who DM is going to send out next. They did have a full roster of players, which is nice. They haven't had that all year. It looks like it's going to be DM Cryok. Alright. So yet another Terran playing as white versus Finito, still the orange Zerg, and the map is going to be on Tau Cross. So, Finito played a really solid game last game. He held off that cheese very nicely. He did lose a good number of drones in the beginning, but it was pretty necessary losses. And was able to completely shut down the Marines before they were able to get to the bunkers. And then transitioned to Mutalisk and had some nice Mutalisk control to finish off Wraith. In this game, I assume he won't have to deal with proxy racks again, but we'll have to see. So, excuse me. Cryok is playing more standardly this game. Barracks in base, which is good to see. Now sending out the scout. A little bit of an earlier scout, but certainly it's a normal timing scout, but the earliest of the normal timing scouts. And both players will be scouting the uninhabited natural first. Looks like Cryok's going to do the same build as he had, or excuse me, Finito's going to do the same build he did last game, going with the 12 hatch once again. Yeah, the 12 hatch is a little bit more risky on the 3-player maps because your opponent is going to know where to send his initial Marines if he's going for that kind of attack. But Finito showed he already knows how to hold off early Marine pressure, so he really had nothing to worry about. So, SCV coming into the base, going to see that the hatchery is about 2/3 of the way done. Good. Two probes were pulled for Finito. Is he trying to prevent the SCV from escaping? He might have brought an SCV just in case the... He might have brought an extra drone just in case the SCV tried to prevent the third from going down. Which is rather odd, because unlike throwing down the second hatchery, it really just doesn't matter where this hatchery goes. If it's placed here, it's fine. If it's placed up here, it's fine. If it's placed down here, it's fine. As opposed to the hatchery, where it needs to be, like, in this location, otherwise it's bad. But, really no detriment to that. Firstlings are out for Finito. They're going to poke in and see what they can see in Cryok's base. He actually hasn't got a scout off yet. He knows where Cryok is, but only by process of elimination. And Cryok has 5 Marines. They're out in the open. If the Zerglings can get a nice surround, they could do some good damage. And that is a nice surround from Finito. Finito, very nice control with his Lings. And he's going to kill off all the Marines and only lose a handful of Zerglings. Not even a handful of Zerglings. Still leaving him with 5. And a lot of SCVs need to be pulled for Cryok, and this is still going to cost him. In these battles, Zerglings are better than SCVs, one-on-one. So now that there's a Marine in the mix, he can start to win these fights, but still, losing this first pack of 5 Marines, pretty big loss. Losing those SCVs after, not good either. And Cryok's going to leave a couple SCVs here to block, and now building the bunker instead. Finito's going to do the same thing he did last game with the 3-hatch Mutalisk. And with his control from last game, I wouldn't be surprised if it worked out just as well for him. Finito has shown that he has very nice unit control. You might say that Finito was the 2v2 player for his Nation Wars team during Altitude Nation War. And you can kind of see that playing out now, because a 2v2 player doesn't get to the late game very often. They just need to have lots of control with the few units they have. And we saw that from Finito. He has very nice drone control, very nice Ling control, and very nice Mutalisk control. And the weakness is when he gets to a late game situation and has to control a lot of units and an economy. Spire is about halfway done, and he's once again creating a large pack of Speedlings. Now, last time the Speedlings weren't able to do much damage. They did take out the bunker, but not much beyond that. If they're able to take out the Academy, that would be a huge blow to Cryok. It's very rare for a Terran to build their Academy as part of the wall, and we're going to see now if it comes back to bite him. The Zerglings coming in to surround the bunker and are now attacking. SCV's being pulled, but there's not really a good spot for them to repair. All the Marines go down. The bunker's going to go down very quickly as well. The SCVs just can't get back there to repair. There are no more Marines now, and SCVs are going to start dying. He's not going to target the Academy, just going to go for the SCVs. They're a lot easier to kill, and a lot of SCVs are going to go down. And Medic gets there, but a little bit too late. And now he's going to target the Academy. Will he be able to focus it down? SCVs are being pulled, and the Zerglings are then going to focus on the SCVs, but they do have medic support, which is going to help them out a lot. The Zerglings, forced to retreat, are going to get the scout off in the main too. A very nice Zergling run by so far, and it's not even done yet. He's going to be able to get one more Marine? No, not quite getting that last Marine, but still, he killed more than a controlled group of Lings, a good number of SCVs, even took out the bunker that will allow his Mutalisk to be even more effective. And here they come. It's a very specific build from Finito, but it's a beautiful strategy. just speedling run by to soften up the Marine defenses, make the right at that point the Terran player would want to throw down a lot of turrets. But you're sending in the Lings, you're distracting them with the Lings, and then all of a sudden the Mutalisks come in, and now the Terran player has fewer Marines than normal, you took out the bunker, and hasn't had a chance to throw down turrets. I like this strategy a lot. So, the Mutalisks are going to be able to get a lot of easy kills over here. There are so few Marines and a single turret that isn't exactly in the best of positions. Looks like the Mutalisks are just going to focus down the missile turret, focus down the Marine, and then attack the SCVs until they run away. I wouldn't be surprised if he took out the Academy. Taking out that range for Marines would be huge. Doesn't have a chance. GG from Cryok. Finito wins another game, looking very similar to the way he won game 1. Good stuff. Oh. This is Twitch TV Gambit Cup 5, sponsored by Twitch TV, Nerbopolis, and Prowler. Looks like the next replay just finished. So AWOL will be renaming it and sending it over. A momentary lapse in the action. Oh, there's the sound. Alright. Downloading the replay. Putting it in the fold. Oh, I gotta rename it. This is the second day of casting, so AWA is calling them set 1, set 2, set 3. And I already have set 1, set 2, set 3. So I need to rename them myself to set 3 SDFAS. Alright. So, moving on to game number 3. Who will Finito's opponent be this time? We have DMLML. Yet another Terran player, interestingly. There aren't that many foreign Terrans, which is kind of surprising. And it's also kind of surprising just to see a constant string of Terrans being sent against Finito, who apparently is very strong in the TVZ matchup. Finito is orange, and LM... Oh. Oh, it's not Terran. My bad. LML's Protoss. Wow. Take back everything I just said. Don't I feel silly? Alright. So, PVZ on Icarus. This is known as a... this is known typically as a Zerg favorite map, but it's pretty even overall. So it's not a huge issue. Cross positions should also help that. Could be a little bit more difficult if it was close positions, just because Finito's going to be able to hide away his expansions easier, and it's going to allow him to get Hydra Busts off faster. Anyway, it would appear Finito went for the overpull. And LML went Gateway first, and then put a forge in his base, and then a pylon outside. That is peculiar. It isn't horribly strange. it isn't horribly strange to put the gateway... excuse me. It isn't horribly strange to put the gateway first here, and then a forge, then do whatever you want. But to put the gateway and the forge in your main, and then go for a relatively fast expansion behind that... The issue is that you just don't have a wall, that you just have cannons out in the open, and while the cannons will prevent a run-by as easily as they would, they don't prevent the Lings from just killing it. And Finito's a player who likes to build a lot of early Lings in his matchups. All three of them. So, I'm a little bit nervous for LML here. Is that cannon even going to finish? Yes, the cannon is just barely going to finish, but as I said, it has nothing around it. Finito is now scouting this for the first time, and I'm sure he's a little bit confused by the positioning. Anyway, Finito doesn't quite have the Ling numbers yet, so he's just going to hold off, getting his third down now. Well, I'm thinking about the benefits of putting your stuff in your base. And I'm guessing if for the Hydra bust, it'd be better to have it in your base, because the Hydralisk can't snipe the Forge while +1 is researching, and can't pick off that gateway. So that's nice, I guess. Anyway, Finito's getting his lair off of 3 bases. And now Finito's putting his Cyber Core as part of the wall? It's almost as if he's building a reverse wall, where instead of putting his Forge and his Gateway in the wall, he's putting the Forge and Gateway in the main, and then putting the Cyber Core and Stargate would be next as part of the wall. Well, Stargate will go in the natural, but not as part of the wall. He's going to tuck it away behind. The reason for putting the Stargate in your natural is so that you don't have to build an extra cannon in your main quite yet. You can delay doing that. You can use the cannons that are part of your wall as the same cannons that killed Scourge off that are trying to camp the Stargate. But the issue being that it takes up room in your natural, and this map doesn't exactly have the biggest of naturals. And it also is a little bit more vulnerable if your opponent has a lot of aggression. Rather minor either way. So, looks like LML is going to be going for +1 Corsairs. They've gotten pretty popular recently. Makes it a lot harder to scourge a pack of Corsairs when they have +1. It makes it a lot easier to defend against Mutalisks, assuming that your opponent does go Mutalisks. It looks like LML going to break with convention a little bit. Normally, if you haven't been able to scout your opponent out, which he hasn't most of the game, you send your first Corsair to scout, and then you start to kill Overlords. But LML's just going to go for the kills immediately. So he might get 1 extra Overlord kill than what he would normally. The issue being that he doesn't exactly know what his opponent's doing, although his opponent isn't doing anything crazy. Anyway, Finito is going for Mutalisks, as we saw from the eggs. And the Mutalisks are getting rather close to hatching. Some of them are already out. Some more already out over here. So we'll see what he's able to do with this. There is only one cannon in the main so far, with the second one morphing in, but neither one is really covering the top side of the base. So there's a lot of, not only are the probes vulnerable up at the top, but there's some good tech structures that are vulnerable as well. LML's +1 just finished and is now starting +2, but it looks like the Mutas instead are going to go for the cannons. And here come the +1 Corsairs. This might be a little bit risky, but no, he's going to take down the cannons. And the Scourge managed to get their hits on the Corsairs, so the Corsairs are going to have to retreat too. This is looking really bad for LML right now. A lot of the probes are going down. He pulls away some of them, but he can't pull away all of them. And now the remainder of the probes are going to go down, and the Mutalisks are kind of scattering what they're shooting at, and are now going to target the Corsairs. He has a little bit of a spreadage, but he has so many more Mutalisks than Corsairs that even the +1 won't help him, not to mention that they got softened up by Scourge earlier. And some of the probes transfer back. Finito moves out with most of his Mutalisks, but he keeps one of them there with just a little bit of health left. Is going to be killed by the Corsairs. So a lot of damage done. I'm surprised he didn't continue to press the advantage. Storm just finishing now and rebuilding the cannons. Oh. DT gonna get killed. Looks like LML went for a counterattack, but really wasn't able to get terribly much. A lot of these drones are stacked, which is why it looks like that base is so empty. But now he's created even more Mutalisks, and he can go back in for another attack. And it doesn't look like he's going to fare much better. He doesn't have Scourge this time around, so he might have a little bit more problem dealing with the Corsairs. And yeah, it looks like Finito's going to run away for the meantime. His Mutalisks are pretty clumped. And now that there are 5 Corsairs out, oh, Finito's actually going to lose a lot of his Mutalisks. Good idea to spread them out like that. Not going to lose too many more on the retreat. And I say that he loses 3 more, but he still kept half of them alive. Anyway, LML already with a very high number of Templars, 4 of them out with Storm. And he is starting his robotics facility. That's a little bit preemptive for lurkers. Normally Protoss players wait until they see lurkers before starting the robotics facility because Storm can still work against them. So he might be thinking about trying some Storm drops just to try to do some economic damage back to his opponent. Wouldn't be a bad strategy. There's a lot of opportunities for shuttles on this map. And will he be building a shuttle, or will he be? Is it for the observatory? Well, at this point, it's for neither. So I guess we'll just have to check back on that. LML now getting Overlord speed, which he really needs considering that he's not going to try to contest the air game. So he needs to be able to run away from the Corsairs and to replenish, excuse me, and to replenish Overlords that die in the front. Looks like Finito's getting pretty aggressive with his Hydralisk. He wants to manage to get some Templar snipes. Gets one. Very nice. Is he going to go for another one? Yes, he is. He's going to get a second Templar snipe. Is he going to go for a third? LML's not pulling back with his Templars. Well, not quite yet. This is still a rather strong army, but I'm not sure he can take out a base with it quite yet. Looks like it was for faster observers. And he is getting the Templar energy upgrade. Finito at this point actually has a very large number of Hydralisks. If he can get a nice, if he could get a nice attacking angle, he might be able to do a lot of damage to this force. Especially if he's able to snipe off the Templar with his Mutalisks. He's going in. There's one Templar, and Storm going down. That's a very nice Storm hitting a lot of the Mutalisks, and he's actually going to lose them all. Only manages to kill one Templar, and does half damage to all of them, and that one almost died. Unfortunate. We didn't quite have enough Mutalisks to be one-shotting them. Meanwhile, LML is taking the top left expansion. It's a very safe expansion for Protoss to take in this matchup. The next expansion, though, the fourth, will be much more difficult. Either this corner expansion or this natural, most likely. It looks like Finito gets into a little bit of a bad position. He doesn't quite want to engage there. And nice Storm going down. Managing to kill a couple Hydralisks. Finito actually has very few lurkers in his army. He's morphing a couple more, but he doesn't have any finished at the moment. Which is going to mean that these speed lots are going to be very, very strong. And that's really the thing that's scary about this army at this point, the overwhelming number of speed lots that he's expected to deal with Hydralisks alone. Ooh, snipes a Templar. A little bit of a mistake from LML there. But very nice Storms going down, hitting a lot of the units. And now the Zealots are going to go forward, and it's going to be really easy for Protoss to just crush this engagement. He loses a few more Templar, but he had so many to begin with, and they do have the energy upgrade. He's out of Storms at the moment, but he'll be able to add more relatively quickly. And even without Storms, this is still a very imposing force. Even the Corsair body to help keep off the Mutalisks. Now, is he going to go for the attack? Based on the fact that the Corsairs aren't leaving, it looks like he is. And yes, he's bringing in the Dragoons. He doesn't want to bother with the Zealots yet. And they're going to be able to whittle away on the Sim City out of range of the Sunkens. With the Spore Colony down, Corsair's going to be able to kill the Overlords. Finito, seriously supply blocked and about to be even more so. Lots and lots of lurkers here. They could be stormed very easily, but LML doesn't have a storm. So they're going to do a lot of damage to the Zealots coming in. Still not going to be able to quite win that engagement. A lot of units coming up from behind, though. LML is reliant only on his goons. And the reinforcements from the back are going to be the difference in this battle. One storm could have essentially won LML the game. Because storming that cluster of 5 would have made it so that he wouldn't have lost all the speed lots, and then he could have used them to defend against just that little force from the back, which really was what won it for him. But LML is certainly still in a good position, up by 40 supply, safely on 3 bases, which is a milestone in this matchup. Still, very nice storms from LML this game. Interesting, getting the robotics support facility. It's a little bit too late to be incorporating Reavers into the main army with shuttles, because the army's getting a bit too big. Just for micro purposes, it's going to be very difficult. But on the other hand, he doesn't have a 4th base, and usually that's the time when Protoss wants to start building Reavers just for defense. Oh, well, he's taking his 4th base now, and it looks like that is the plan, to build Reavers out of here, and that's how he's going to defend his 4th, and by virtue of that, his 5th, whenever he wants to take it. So, is Finito still... No, Finito has gotten up to Hive Tech, Defiler Mound just starting, and Adrenal Ground's just starting. So he'll finally be able to incorporate some Hive into his army. He's been off of 4 bases for quite a while, although he hasn't actually gotten the gas at one of them yet. Looks like Finito's going in for an attack here, but with a pretty small force. He's going to be able to kill some Zealots, but that is about it. Ooh. DT just dies to Splash Fire. That's rather unlucky. Finito has a bunch of lurkers just randomly lying around on the map. There's one that just got killed, one there, one there. Apparently another one here, because there are 2 little orange dots. Ah, there's the second one. That's a very well blended in hole. It totally looks like this hole. Anyway. LML getting the Reaver damage upgrade. Kind of rare to see players get the Reaver damage upgrade. Just because there's no real unit that the Reaver can kill faster. They'll kill Zerglings in 1 hit no matter what. They'll kill Hydralisks in 1 hit no matter what. I guess it helps you kill Lurkers in 1 hit? Yeah. Well, if Lurkers have no armor upgrades, that is. Even with 3, it'll still kill them in 1 hit. So I guess that is where it helps you. But in late game situations, players don't really have Lurkers as much. So, LML is looking very strong at this point. He's on even bases with the Zerg and has a nice supply lead. He's been getting some pretty good upgrades so far. Both players with actually pretty good upgrades. 1-1-1. Wait, no, does the Lurkers have 2 attack? Ooh, 2-1-1 for Zerg. And LML has 2 attack. Is he continuing to get upgrades? Yes, he is, getting 3-1 now. Looks like Finito is gearing up to try to attack this base, but with the 2 Reavers there, there's no way that this is going to work out. Reaver Splash does still do damage under Swarm. So... Wait. Does he have the Reaver? He had the Reaver upgrade, but he still isn't able to one-shot Lurkers. That was weird. And Finito has left the game. GG! Oh man, Finito's banned. And that's not a replay bug, because LML said GG. Oh man. So, LML prevents the Finito all kill. Now, when I was checking to make sure that this clan war was actually going to happen, IWL didn't have a lot of players. So, they might actually run out. Do lurkers have 125 health? I thought they had 120 health. I have nothing else to look up. Liquipedia is my friend. Oh. He's getting the 4th now, he hopes. Ah, it was 125. Alright. So, 5-minute intermission, I guess, while we wait for them to finish up their games. Oh. Fuck 5-minute intermissions. I don't know why he would say that. Because he put, getting the set now, I hope. But he was pretty clearly getting the set. Whatever. Doesn't matter. We got games. That's all that counts. So, set number 4 on Chain Reaction. Who does IWL have left? They have Gag. Gag showed up. Okay, that's a good player. So, we have IWL Gag as still the orange. Has IWL really had orange 4 games in a row? That's weird. Alright, and LML is the teal Protoss. So, a PVT on Chain Reaction. Quite the peculiar map. And a map where Protosses tend to like to go D-Web more than other maps. Is it any better on this map? Looking at my XSplit thing, and it says I've dropped 325 frames. Don't know when that happened, but I'm not dropping any more, so it's cool, I guess. Anyway, no initial cheese, it looks like. LML putting the gateway in his base and getting the assimilator. Gag setting up the wall for the Rax FE. Oh, good stuff. There are a lot of entrances into the natural on this map. There is the main entrance, which is over here and has a huge choke. There is this entrance where you have to destroy this small building and then a larger building up here, and it leads directly from the 3rd over in that region. And then there is a back door that spans all the way along this cliff behind the main, and there's a stack of temples and a mineral patch with 40. So you can get rid of either one of those to access it that way. A lot of ways to do shenanigans here. So, I'm gonna go Zealot first and send him out. See if you can do a little bit of damage. See if you can put some pressure on the wall. Probably not. Looks like Gag's not even going to stick around to wait for the Dragoon to come out. is just going to see that nothing weird's happening from LML. Oh, maybe not. Zealot is turned away, and it looks like Dagoon's going to turn back around and try to chase out the SCV. Shouldn't be too hard. And got him. That's something I always wondered about. Like, units in StarCraft have perfect aim. And I'm not talking about, like, shooting up high ground, then they miss sometimes. But, like, on 2 even footings, a Dragoon will always hit another Dragoon. It's not as if, like, the bullet will go to the side. Then I was thinking, like, what about, like, really slow-moving shots? Like, Yamato gun shots. If you were, like, shooting a Yamato at a Vulture, and the Vulture was moving sideways, would you, like, watch the bullet curve into the Vulture? I don't think that situation will ever occur, because nobody ever wants to Yamato a Vulture. But it also made me wonder, like, if a Vulture was running underneath a battlecruiser, and the battlecruiser selected the Vulture, and then the Yamato cannon, like, warm-up started, the Vulture could get, like, almost halfway across the map before the warm-up sequence ends and the bullet actually reaches the Vulture. So does, like, the bullet travel halfway across halfway across the map? These are things I have wondered and never actually got around to trying. That'd be really funny, though. That was like a legitimate strategy in TVT. If you, like, dart in with your Wraiths and then have all their Yamato cannons start to charge, and then you run away with all your Wraiths and get quote-unquote out of range, and then it's like, aha, I baited all your Yamatos, and now they're worthless. Anyway, both players not doing anything particularly special yet. LML got some fast observers, putting a pylon up here just to be safe, because you can glitch vultures through here, either by bringing an SCV along or by simply, like, laying a mine here and then pressing them through. It's actually going to be a pretty late expansion from LML, getting it after observers. If you Yamato'd something and then it got put into a dropship, then the Yamato would certainly go away. Because, like, if you shoot something with a Dragoon and then pick it up with a dropship, the bullet just goes away. It's like just doing Reaver Micro. But recalling it, I'm pretty sure it just misses then too. Unless you, like, recall it away, like, still during the warming up sequence? No, I'm pretty sure that it's just, like, for the battlecruiser's intended purposes, it died. Okay, you know what? That would be sick, because the warm up time for a battlecruiser is like the warm up time for recall. So if you get into a situation where it's like carriers versus battlecruisers, then you have your carriers. The carriers are, like, fighting the battlecruisers. All the battlecruisers use their Yamatos. Then you recall all of your carriers, lift them up, bring them back down in the exact same spot, and then all the Yamatos miss. That would be so sick if there was ever a Yamato cannon versus carrier competition. Man, somebody really needs to counter carriers with battlecruisers. Anyway, Gag took out the the building back here, so he'll be able to very, very safely take a third. Meanwhile, LML has already taken his third, and is very safe in doing that, considering Gag hasn't left his base at all. Is that the only forge? It looks like it is. Yep, +1 on the way. Gag has his armory, but hasn't started using it yet. He's not even making Goliaths. But it looks like he's switched into Vulture production, which means that he is intent on making his first push now, moving out with all the tanks. LML needs to be careful with the positioning of these units, because they will be able to catch reinforcements, but the tanks can just avoid them. And there are a lot of tanks out right now. LML with a surprisingly high number of speed lots for this position in the game. He really didn't make many goons, and that's going to help out a lot. But there are just so many tanks it might not matter. Most of the Zealots have gone down. Yes, all the Zealots have gone down, and the Dragoons are going to pull out without dying. But losing that many speed lots... Oh, no. We'll lose 2 goons. Yeah, LML's... That wasn't LML's entire army, and he traded it for basically a handful of vultures. Gag's gonna repair tanks. You don't see that every day. Anyway, not gonna. Doesn't need to cross the bridge there. He can cross the bridge down here and still attack the third. He can not only attack it up this ramp, but come around this way through this little pass. There's a building there he needs to take out, but he certainly won't take him very long with that many siege tanks. Looks like Gag though is going to put his units here and divide the Protoss army from the natural from the third. So this is looking like a very scary attack. And now the tanks are going to be able to siege up in the natural, and it's going to be this army is essentially useless because it has to come up a ramp against that many tanks. But there's nothing much LML could do here. Nope, he's pretty much boned. Gonna go in for one attack at least. I think he's trying to get in for an attack, but the Zealots aren't managing to get into all the clump tanks. And Gag wins, I guess. No GGs from either player, no somebody leaves the game, but... So, Gag just needs to win one more, and IW will take this clan league. So, do we have another replay? Oh, apparently LML GG'd. Apparently there is a replay, because I have been told sec. And there's no I hope at the end. No, Elmaster hasn't finished yet. Oh no. According to Team Liquid, I am losing to Elmaster by 3 viewers. Oh darn. And I'm losing by a lot more because because we stopped casting, so like 10 people left. Oh well. Ewa. I need replays. I'm kind of surprised there's a hold up for replays. Considering that it's not like we had a super epically long TVT that's been holding everything up. All the games have been pretty reasonably length. Alright. Well, last time I turned on the music and then instantly got a replay. So, I'm going to turn on the music again, and then instantly get a replay, theoretically. Man, I love this song. It is this game, if this game means anything to you. Target Renegade. I don't even know what system Target Renegade was for. Nope. Replay. Rename that. Put it in the folder. Alright. As much as I'd like to listen to awesome music, I have Broodwar to cast. So, DM's last player to try to get a 3-kill to turn this around. Otherwise, IW will take it. And the man on the hot seat will be DM Nacho. No. Nacho. So, Nacho will be the red Protoss. IWL Gag will be the orange Terran. He's orange again? This is now the 5th game in a row where the IWL player is orange. That's cool. Dude, I hope their, like, team logo is orange. I don't know what the IWL logo looks like. Anyway, PVT on Jade. Nice. Nice balanced map. Pretty standard. Has funky quarter circles, but that's the only unique thing about this map. The quarter circles aren't horrendously ridiculous. I like it. Pretty sure Jade is my favorite of the new maps, because every other map is either like Electric Circuit and just ridiculous, or it's like Ground Zero and just really boring. And I know Ground Zero is just like Grand Line, and I liked Grand Line, but at least Grand Line had a big line running down the middle of it. So it's like there's some kind of unique terrain, and maybe that will come into play. And actually, the big line down the middle came into play a lot. But Ground Zero, it's just like it's completely open. There are a couple little pillars in the middle, but really, there's no reason for you to be near pillars, so we're gonna completely take out anything. Whoa. Why are you sending me this? Oh, okay. People sending me stuff not related to this cast. That's cool. Anyway, Nacho's building a rather early second gateway and isn't scouting. What are you up to, Nacho? Meanwhile, Gag, looking like he's going to go for a siege expand. Unless he's about to throw down another factory, but I don't think so. Well, looks like Nacho's going to go pretty fast 2-gate goon with range. Put some pressure on the opponent and allow him to take a rather quick, natural without having to worry about an FD push really messing it up. And in fact, the first 2 goons are going to go immediately over, ignoring the SCV in the main. I don't know, he's hiding a little bit too suspiciously just to come back and scout. That might be what it's for, but there's a lot of room up here to put a factory down. Anyway, Nacho's scouting out, going to find that neither of the places he just searched are going to be the correct location. So his 4 Dragoons now will all converge on these Marines right around the same time. Meanwhile, Gag does have his first tank out, and is getting vultures with mines behind this. But he's gonna have some trouble pushing, I think. With proper micro, Nacho should be able to do a lot of damage to these Marines. Well, if the SCV was planning on doing something, it's been found out now. And is going to manage to get one last scout in. Oh, bad. So, well, Gag's push has been really delayed, and now it's just a defensive force. But it also means that Nacho's quick goons aren't going to be able to do very much. Still going to allow him to put the expansion behind it, though, which is what he wanted to do. So not too bad. And is Nacho going to go for a really fast third as well? It looks like he's gearing up for it. That'd be rather interesting. Yes, he is. He's gonna get a very fast third Nexus. So as long as these goons hold, it's gonna work out for him. But Gag does have a lot of stuff behind this. I think it's going to work out for him. Siege mode is just finishing, so... Ooh, well, it's just finishing. It needs a little bit more time. And I think with the Dragoons firing at the barracks, he's going to have it. Yeah, siege mode's done. Does manage to kill the barracks. So, nice pickup there. But the Goons are going to detract him enough, allow Nacho to get a super fast third, and he's going to have a nice economic advantage over the Terran, whose natural command center just finished, as opposed to this just almost being done. Oh, look at that. Gag. With the supply depot, he didn't quite finish, so he can cancel it later, but he's just going to be annoying and not let units through. How annoying. Nacho threw down simultaneous robotics facility and Citadel. But it looks like the observatory is being thrown down behind it, so it's not going to be any kind of DT drop play. It'd be rather late for that anyway. I'm liking the strategy from Nacho. He's a little bit behind in supply, which is kind of dangerous versus a Terran, but he'll be able to fix that relatively soon. I mean, he's only on 2 gateways now off of 3 bases, and once he throws, he's going to throw down 4 at once, or 5 at once, or however many it is, and then be able to just flood with Goons and Zealots. Anyway, putting 2 Dragoons here, gonna act like a pylon wall, just to make sure that vultures aren't gonna be able to run up and shoot stuff. Nacho doesn't quite have the minerals to just throw down those pylons, but he has an extra number of goons he doesn't need, so just using the resources that he has. Anyway, 2 more gateways finished building, and a 5th one almost done building. And the observer's going to see the rather scary push from Gag. It's not quite as big as the push that he moved out against DMLML, but it's starting to get up to those close numbers. And the difference being Nacho should be able to have a bigger army before Gag's able to push out, because he got his natural sooner and his third much sooner. Also, this is a 4-player map, so Gag has to cross more terrain to get to his opponent. And I threw down an extra pylon here and lost a probe doing so. I don't think that the vultures could have gotten through that. They didn't seem to be able to. But vulture's gonna pull back. And I don't think there's anything they're gonna be able to do. There's a big pack of Dragoons here to stop them from running up that ramp. This is looking pretty tight. Templar Archives and Stargate finishing up now, so Arbiter Tech isn't too far behind. It looks like Nacho is going to get prepared to be a little bit more aggressive now. This is a pretty good idea, just to make it so that when the Terran starts the push, the Terran has to go a lot farther. There's no way he's going to be able to break up that ramp with that many siege tanks, but you're at least making it so the Terran has to work for it. And clearing out the mines, never a bad thing. Where is the Arbiter Tribunal? There's the Arbiter Tribunal. There's a little bit of ways to go. He really let that hit. He really let that hit. Oh, man. Nacho. Nacho. Anyway. Nice Nice placement by the probe, getting down the forge just in time to stop the big pack of vultures from making into the natural. That would have been bad, but Nacho playing this rather correctly. Gag's command center just finished. He hasn't quite transferred SCVs over there yet. But now Nacho was in a pretty good position when it was 3 base versus 2 base, but now that Gag's gotten up to 3 bases, Nacho needs to make something happen. He could try to take a 4th and a 5th really quickly, but that's going to be hard to defend against Gag, who's already shown that he really wants to get vultures in there. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the attack coming very soon, just as the Arbiters get out. There's some good stasis opportunities up on the top of that ramp. How much longer until the first Arbiter? It's about halfway done. And stasis is finishing up. Anyway, goons are going to come and attack this base. The few mines at the top aren't going to be enough. Once the tanks get down here, this should end. Are those tanks in range? No, not quite. It looks like the goons are going to pull out even sooner than that. They might have been able to finish off that supply depot. It might still be finished off. It's burning down. There it is. I have to take out the forge. I don't know. I don't know what Nacho's complaining about, but clearly something has irked him. Maybe more lag. That Chile to Russia connection can be rather difficult. Anyway, looks like Nacho's going to expand to this natural and this main, so he doesn't need to do damage with the army he has out. But Gag is starting to get pretty close to maxed, so he's gonna have to figure out a way to deal with a very, very well put together, very scary composition. Starport on the way, EMP being researched even. The forge is being warped in. If he starts cannons now, he might be able to get them down in time, but he's not going to, as Dragoon's coming up from behind. Alright. Is Gag going for a recall? I only say that because, or excuse me, is Nacho going for recall? And I say that because Gag is looking pretty well turtled in with 200 and not moving. But it looks like now he's finally going to start to move out. And it's all going to be about engagement angles from Nacho. Can he engage the Terran at the correct points so that, excuse me, so that the Terran army gets whittled down faster than his own, or at least at a similar rate rather than everything just evaporating. Nacho has no upgrades, which is slightly disturbing. And he's rather heavy in the Zealot composition. Oh, recall into the third. How much damage is this going to be able to do? It's at least going to slow down Gag. He pulled back all of his units. He's not going to be able to use all of them in this engagement. And actually, the Dragoons can do a lot of damage. There's only one siege tank in range. So, this Zealot, is that Zealot actually getting kills? Only one so far. So, some damage, not too much. This barracks is going to see the entire army moving out there. But he delayed Gag even more, and the more he delays Gag, the longer he has to set up the fifth, excuse me, the fifth base, And once he gets that 5th base up and he's able to have a lot of gateways over here too, that really does help versus a Terran. Because if there's only one point you're spawning units from, the Terran can just slowly work towards it and cut it off. But if there's 2 places, then the Terran, no matter what it does, always has to worry about surrounds. Looks like the Arbiter got EMP'd. Still maxed for both armies. Not a lot of trading's been done. It's just been more stalling tactics from either player. But Gag is slowly but surely inching forward till he takes that high ground. And once he takes the high ground over here, it's going to be easier for him to move. This was the hardest part, getting from this low ground to this high ground. And now that he's done it, he can start to move a little bit faster. And it's a terrifying army. Although his units are a little bit fragmented, his tanks are separated from his vultures. The vultures moved out a little bit faster, but no. Nacho doesn't want to quite engage from that angle. Other than the fact that they were separated, it still was a pretty difficult fight. Now all the tanks are unsieged and not moving in, so he's going to lose a lot of vultures. He did manage to take out a lot of zealots because the zealots were leading, and vultures are good versus zealots. But he's now working with a mostly tank corps, and if Nacho replenishes his zealot count, then he might be able to do a lot of damage to the tanks that are all alone. But, ooh, the tanks are going to be able to fight goons purely, and that's not going to be a fight that's good for the goons. Really? Nacho GG's. I didn't think he was in that bad of a position. I guess he really didn't like the lag. Alright then, that's it. IWL wins. Thank you. Thanks to Twitch TV, Nerbopolis and Prowler for sponsoring. Thank you to the organizer, Awa. And thank you to you guys for watching. Elmaster is still casting ISL groups, so I would recommend watching that. But beyond that, there will be more Gambit Cup action by Elmaster on Friday, more ISL action casted by me on Saturday, and then more Gambit Cup casted by me Sunday, with more ISL being casted by Elmaster Sunday. There's going to be a lot of Brood War for a while, and that's a good thing. Thanks all for watching. Bye, everybody.